There was a time in my life when I tracked every single second of my time. Why? Because of this clip.
Track your time meticulously for 7 days. You will be shocked at how much time flitters away that don't create a ton of value for you. And you'll get an idea, like, I would have never thought of that if your face was stuck in Netflix or TikTok for, the 7 hours a day that you're not working.
But after a week, I kept going. I realized it helped me get a better sense of how I was using my time. Still, there was one big problem. Not everything that matters can be measured in time. Our society celebrates working hours, not the actual results. But no one cares about how long you take. They only care about the outcome. You're the only one who cares about how much time it took you to reach your goal. Especially in the modern knowledge work and with the rise of generative AI, it's value that matters, not time. This realization hit me when I was reading 10x is easier than 2x. That's why I want to share this insight with you. I'll show you what the ancient Greeks can teach you about time, how a simple framework can help you be more productive while gaining more free time, and how I apply this framework in my own life so you have a place you can start from. So let's go back to the ancient Greeks. Even the ancient Greeks understood that not all time is the same. That's why they had two words for it. First, chronos, which is measurable time, the hours you can count, and then kairos, the meaningful time that shapes who you are. You won't remember 40 hours of work, but you'll remember that one moment in a flow state that changed your entire project. Though here's the problem. Our entire society is structured around chronos time. Schools, workplaces, even universities. But real progress happens in kairos time, when you stop focusing on hours and start focusing on outcomes. Quality over quantity. To create more kairos moments in your life, you need a structure that supports that. That's where the concept of focus, buffer and free days comes in. Focus days are match time. On this day, there's only one thing that matters. Creating value. No meeting, no mails, no multitasking. You focus entirely on your most important tasks. As simple as this sounds, there are 3 key rules to follow on these days. First, set yourself a maximum of 1 to 3 goals for that day. Best case, you do that the day before. Once you've hit these goals, you're done for the day. The rest is for recovery and play. Second, your goals should lie outside your comfort zone. If you want long-term growth, you have to push your boundaries with each new day. And third, get feedback on your work as quickly as possible. Fast iteration is essential for getting better results. Just follow these 3 steps to do your best work and live more in kairos time. But you and I both know that not every task directly creates value. That's where buffer days come in. Buffer days are for laying the groundwork for your focus days. You hold meetings, you reply to messages, you look into skill development, and so on. What exactly goes into your buffer days depends on what you're doing on your focus days. You truly recharge on free days. No work at all there. Not for university, not for your job, not even for a side hustle. Instead, you focus on recharging your energy. Exercise, work on hobby projects or any other flow-inducing activity because they are perfect for recovery. If you don't return to your work feeling refreshed, it's time to rethink your approach to recovery. That might sound harsh, but it's all about increasing the quality of your rest. If you see yourself as a work athlete, it makes a bit more sense. Professional athletes also have active recovery days. Not training on the field, but focusing on letting their bodies recover as well as possible. So much for the theory. Let's get into the practical part, because knowledge only matters if you can apply it. All you need is a calendar and a list of your tasks. Let's jump into a blank Google Calendar. Why is it blank? Because I don't want to leak any information that shouldn't be out there in public. And second of all, it just works with a blank calendar as well. So the first thing I would do is to schedule my free days. Most of the times I will just look if there are any events that would incentivize to take the complete day off. Just like birthday parties or a tennis match I scheduled. For example, let's say I take Friday and Saturday as a free day. Now that that is set, I want to do my focus sessions. So I know that on Saturday I want to release my video. So I need 2 or 3 sessions. So let's say I do my focus days from Tuesday to Thursday. Nice. So now there are only 2 days left to schedule buffer days. In principle, that's it. That's all you need. Personally, I combine this with my PTR framework, which stands for play, train, and train. In that framework, I divide my work into play sessions, so creating something of value. I mean, the relation between the focus days and that is pretty obvious. And training sessions where I try to improve my skills, which also perfectly fits into the buffer days. The buffer days are the only days where I schedule something. So for example, I'd like to do 4 hours of soft skill training, and in the evening I would like to do 4 hours of hard skill training. When I see, hey, next up there's a focus day, I go to my task management app, which is Todoist, and schedule the tasks. I will just head over to my projects in the play section and see what's up next. So for example, I only have these 3 tasks left for this project, so we'll schedule them for Saturday, which is the next day I will have my focus session. When it comes to buffer days, I just head over to the specific list for that training session. So for example, if we go to the soft skill training, my current project is to do a market analysis for this channel, and this is what I'm going to work on in these 4 hours. Am I going to be done with that in these 4 hours? Actually, I don't know. In that case, it doesn't really matter if I get done in that 4 hours or not. It's more that I just take the time to do this stuff. And when I finish doing all the market research, I move on to the next projects that will level up my skills. And for the 3 days, there is nothing scheduled. So everything I do, of course, has a to-do list, but it's not that I'm trying to achieve something specific on that day. It's just like, yeah, I like to create this thing, or I like to work on that workflow. And then I just do it because it's fun. I know I'm in a pretty privileged position right now, where I can plan my time freely. But don't worry if you're not in that position, because there's a solution. If you have fixed time blocks, say for uni or work, you just have to work around them. A friend of mine compared it to the attack radius of the monkeys in Bloons tower defense. Saying this out loud makes it even worse, but yeah. Sometimes in life you don't have a full view or full control, but you do have a range where you're unblocked. Use that range to apply these concepts effectively. In non-gamer terms, that just means even if you only have 2 or 3 hours in the evening, you can still use the time for a focus day, a buffer day, or a free day. The important thing is to work with your limitations. Let's wrap up the key takeaways. There are 2 different kinds of time: Chronos and Kairos. Our society runs on Chronos, but your growth happens in Kairos. So focus on the value you create, not the time available. To put that into practice, divide your days into focus, buffer, and free days. This helps you stay recharged and create long-term value. If you apply these principles, I guarantee you'll feel more focused, more rested, and more productive. Take a moment to think about how you can bring this concept into your life. Drop your approach in the comments. I love to hear it. Wishing you all the best in reaching your goals. I'm out.